afternoon, everybody. Welcome to 2019, our first bulletin of 2019. I get to be here today with Ms. Danielle Predwajewski. And Danielle is student teaching right now. She's a student at Central Washington University, and she's student teaching in Ms. Kenkelberg's science class. For the record, it does not make either one of us feel old at all that we had both Danielle and her brother as students. So she learned from the best. There you go. Yeah. Anyways, a couple other nuts and bolts before we get started on what we're doing in classes. We have some housekeeping reminders. Students need to come to school with their Chromebooks charged, and they need to get it here every day. We've had lots and lots of missed ones, and we just don't have the capacity in our system to support charging in class. And at this point, students should really just have that habit. Also, by midway through the school year, some of the school supplies are running low, so can you check with your student to make sure they're coming to school with pencils and paper, glue, basic supplies. And then finally, just a reminder that students are not permitted to use their cell phones during the school day, and so calls home or messages really need to be made through the office. So, moving on.
So in Mr. Hunter's class, the compacted 7-8 class, they just wrapped up their geometry unit and have begun the first algebra unit. And this unit will cover linear equations and different ways to represent them. Mrs. Martinson and Mrs. Scott's 7th grade math classes have begun Unit 4. And in this unit, they'll learn to solve problems involving fractions and percentages. And in this first section, they will extend their understanding of ratios and rates to problems involving quotients and quotients of fractions. And then in Scott's algebra class, they're working on solving a system of equations by substitution and elimination. And then in science, students are looking at elements, compounds, and mixtures, and how to classify matter into these categories. They will also be looking into differences between endo and exothermic dissolving.
Wow. Okay. In Language Arts Social Studies, in Ms. Schultz's class, she is back from her break with lovely Miss Violet. The last 2 weeks, she is focused on revisiting some classroom expectations in culture and explanatory writing and 5 themes of geography. And just a heads up, there'll be more information about a geography project coming home as they get ready to dig into location of 5 places they'd like to know more about. In my class, Ms. Hofer's class, we've launched into our new social studies unit on the early settlement of Washington, and we're also reading in class The Boys in the Boat and several narrative nonfiction companion novels. So ask your student to share their learning. In Ms. Thompson's class, they are wrapping up narrative writing and shifting their attention towards informative writing. Their first informative essay is due on January 31st. And in social studies, they're exploring Washington State geography as well and using the 5 themes of geography.
So in Star and Fitness, we have in Henyen's drum class, they are working on a rhythm called tambua, I assume, and have them show it to you. They're also starting to play a Latin percussion instruments, including claves, bongos, and
something else that could be either a euro or a gyro. You should ask them what they are.
Yeah, definitely ask them. And so it says they're having lots of fun, and they would love to share with you. And then in band, the jazz band will be playing at Clark College, the Jazz Festival on January 24th. And the jazz band parents should be getting more information via email. And then in Cotton and Micaiah's class, they have rotated to gym for our 3rd fitness unit of the year. They're playing basketball and demonstrating motor skills and movement patterns. And check on Skyward for any missing assignments as soon as possible.
In Mr. Edmondson's classes, choir has jumped into festival season, and they're focusing on choral literature, and they're going to engage with some software to help in some composition experiments. And in drama, students are writing their own scripts and are performing in small groups, and they've gotten a lot better over the course of the year in their ability to memorize and present. We want to go on and recognize some students who show excellent pride, and I'm going to let Ms. P begin.
So our first student is Macy Jenkins, and she has been recognized for her unwavering focus and effort. She quietly leads by asking great questions and always being on task. Recently in class, students were asked to review topics covered before break, and Macy asked a question, then promptly referred to her notes to get the answer instead of just waiting to be told. We appreciate your quiet leading, Macy. Keep up the great work.
We also want to recognize Braden Sturl. He is a great member of our team, and we are so proud of the student that he is. He just consistently puts forth his best effort and truly wants to learn the content of his classes. Thanks for being willing to always put in the work that's necessary for success, Braden.
Okay, and then next we have Ryan Stuck, and he is one of our most diligent students. He's always striving to understand concepts through completing thoughtful responses, asking questions to make sure he understands, and engaging in discussions with partners. We appreciate Ryan's work ethic and internal drive to make the most of learning opportunities presented to him.
And our last student for this newsletter is Eric Hall. Eric is new to Liberty this year, and he's a great addition. Eric is hardworking, he's easygoing, he gets along with everyone, and he contributes positively each day. His classmates nicknamed him Best Friend because he's the kind of person everybody wants to have as a loyal friend. Eric, thank you for being such a hardworking, smiling member of our class. Finally, just a couple important dates and announcements. Music auditions for the upcoming musical are February 12th and 13th from 4 to 5:30 p.m. And there's information about signing up for a Google class. I would recommend touching base with Mr. Edmondson or looking at the newsletter. I'm not going to read that code for you. And then also please remember that we do not have school this coming Monday, January 21st is Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday. And then the following Monday, January 28th, is a secondary grading day really designed for the high school students and teachers who have had finals. So that's what we have in terms of that. And I believe that's all we've got. Have a safe and wonderful rest of January. Thanks.